Hi, and welcome to A-Level Law. My name is Mrs. Murray Smith. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the course. What do we study? Well, these are the three things that we study. There are three exam papers at the end of the A-Level. We start with studying crime, and that's the thing that you'll probably already know something about, having watched lots of crime dramas and so on. So we study crime. Then we go on to what's called tort, and I'll say a bit more about that in a minute, and then we go on to contract law, and that's in year 13. So what do we study in crime? We study non-fatal offences, so all the things that you could do to somebody short of killing them, without killing them. So you could assault them, you could cause them actual bodily harm, you could cause them grievous bodily harm. Then we go on to the fatal offences, the ways that you could kill somebody. Obviously we start with murder, but there are 4 different types of manslaughter. We also look at, well, what happens if you try to commit a crime and you don't succeed, attempted crimes. And we also study theft and robbery. Alongside that, we also think about the defences. What happens if you're insane? If you were drunk? Were you acting in self-defence? Those kinds of things. Or if somebody pressurised you to commit a crime. And then we bring that all together and we start to think about the law that we've studied. And one of the ways that we think about it is we think, are the systems just? Do they need reforming in any way? And then the way that the law works throughout the course is, having learnt the laws, you then learn how to apply the law to a case study. So a story. You learn how to work out if somebody's guilty or not. Then we go on to civil law. So we spend 4 half terms up until Easter in year 12. In fact, that's what we do at the moment, but from next year we're going to have 2 teachers, myself and Mr. Saunders Griffin. So actually I'll be teaching you crime for the whole of year 12. Mr. Saunders Griffin is going to teach you the civil law, and he'll teach you that over the 2 years. We have the tort paper, which is just a French word meaning civil wrong. And on that, he'll be teaching you about negligence, about what happens if somebody comes onto your property and they're injured, what happens if you've got somebody who's creating a nuisance, all of those kind of things, and how to bring a civil claim. I'll be teaching the contract law paper, and I'll do that in year 13. And sometimes students start by thinking, contract, that sounds a bit boring, but in fact it's not boring, because it's the thing that affects everybody. So every time you go shopping, you have a contract. At some point in the future, you'll get a job. Maybe you've got one now. You'll have a contract. So actually, this is the one that you will use most in your life. Obviously, I hope that you'll never need to defend yourself in a criminal case. Okay, how can you sort of keep in touch with us as a department and know what's going on? Well, we do have an Instagram account, and it's business. It's _business_law, and I just post things that I think will be interesting on there, and it will give, if you look at that, it'll give you a sense of the kind of things that we do. If you have already signed up to show some interest at Langley, you will have access to our Firefly, and if you were to go onto the sixth form transition area and look at law, you can always post any questions on the forum, and I check that daily. And those of you who've started on the transition work, you're already familiar with the forum, because that's where you're posting all of your work. The last thing to say is that many of you have been doing the transition work already, and what you have done is fabulous, and shows a real interest in law, and a really, really good understanding of what you've been learning already. So I look forward to seeing many of you in September.